Okay, guys, let's roll. Try and guess what the subject of this video is. Oh, bugger, I forgot. You probably just read the titles, don't it? Spoils the game. Yeah, it's about Rupert Lowe. Good old Rupert. Dear, dear Rupert. However, I think Rupert Lowe is a different kind of teddy bear to Rupert the Bear. Rupert the Bear is cuddly. I think Rupert Lowe is secretly a grizzly bear in a cuddly Rupert Bear outfit. Anyhow, what's he been saying? Let's have a look at this video, shall we, guys? Yeah, this is a Rupert talking in Parliament. Here we go.
Rupert Lowe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the Home Secretary agree that if a migrant, legal or illegal, can't speak English, claims benefits, lives in social housing, refuses to work, rejects integration, commits crime, is a drain on our society, or even actively hates Britain and wishes to do us harm, that they should be removed from our country regardless of how many millions of deportations that will inevitably result in?
I'm sad that the honourable gentleman has a different characterisation to the one I have from my own community about those who seek refuge in this country, because that isn't my experience.
Okay, we'll drop it there because that Labour mouthpiece there is just your typical politician. Rupert's not your natural politician, he's a patriot politician. This is a career politician here who will say anything to retain his seat. Anyhow, what did you think of what Rupert said? True, wasn't it? I got a couple of things I wish I thought to send to Rupert to bring up. For example, the numbers of Indians and Pakistanis who get more experienced, qualified drivers to take their driving tests for them. That's been happening for years. I recall in 1988, when an Indian guy I was working with at one of the major banks told me about just how they get people into the country and how they get them their qualifications, driving licenses and stuff like that by paying people to take the driving exams for them, which I thought was quite interesting. Spoke about it, told lots of people, wrote a few letters, never heard anything. But now we should be asking those questions about that. And by the way, anyone from overseas or anywhere who found to be cheating in their driving tests by bringing in other people, both parties involved should be deported. They're endangering the lives of British people. I don't care if they kill themselves. I do care if they kill one of us. Okay, now the other thing is, this has been on my mind for a while as well. It's about, I was thinking back, way back in time to 1967. I was in the Royal Navy. Harold Wilson, Labour government, he actually done something good for the armed forces. He brought in a substantial pay rise. We hadn't had one since, I think, the 50s, something like that. And all of a sudden, I thought I was the richest man in the world, because my pay had gone up to a fair amount. Up until then, we were paid peanuts. Incidentally, so you're not going to believe this, when I joined the Royal Navy in 1964, I was paid £1 a week, of which I was allowed to keep 50 shillings. So £1 a week, that's what I got when I joined the Royal Navy in 64. They saved the other 50 pence, 10 shillings for me. Anyhow, that's not the point. At the same time, in 1967, Harold Wilson stopped people taking money overseas. They could only take so much cash. I think it was to the value of £50, £15 in cash and £50 by other means. Well, that got me thinking about, I've seen a lot of adverts for how to send money overseas, and I thought I would dig into it, and this is what I found. So you've got to imagine now, and I've written it down a couple of notes here. We've got a family, say, let's just pick any nationality. Let's use Pakistani, for example. Let's pick Pakistani. When a family sends £200 a month abroad, that money is spent in the foreign country. It's not recycled in the UK country. Individually, that might seem nothing. But now you add up the number of Pakistanis, say, in this family and Indian families. Well, it reduces the domestic spending power. Less money being spent in the UK means less VAT, so there's less tax revenue gathered and less local business activity, so there's less contribution to the UK demand. Now, the Migration Observatory said in 2023, perhaps I should have made more detailed notes, that we sent around £9.3 billion was sent to families overseas by people living in this country. 9.3 billion pounds is a substantial amount of money being lost out of the country, not being spent in it. However, digging a bit deeper, I found that according to the World Bank, they estimate it to be in excess of 26 billion pounds a year. Now, there is a lot of money. And so then I went and had a look at the countries who receive the most in what it's called remittance, the most remittance from the United Kingdom. And strangely enough, the top nationality or top country the money was going to was Pakistan, and the second country was India. So there you go. 26 billion pounds a year we are sending overseas in remittances. Money that isn't going to be spent in the local economy, money that we're not going to get tax on. So that's quite interesting. I think what we should be doing with these remittances is saying, fine, it's good that you're keeping your families overseas, because £200 a month in some of those countries make those families wealthy. We're interfering in the economy of those countries as well also. £200 a month is a lot of money in some countries. So I think what Advanced UK should do is say, fine, you can still send money to your families overseas, but we are going to tax you at, I don't know, a reasonable amount. We don't want to be greedy. 75%. So for every £100 they want, if they want to send £100, we, the taxpayers, take £75 and £25 is sent to Pakistan. Yeah, good idea or what? Right, so that's out of the way. Yeah, sort out those driving licenses and sort out the remittances being sent overseas. Okay, well, we started off looking at a video. Let's have another look at a video. We've seen good old Rupert. Let's see what Ben is up to. Is it, if I can find it? No, 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 no. There he is. Ben. Dear Ben. I've seen that coloured guy on the bottom before. His channel is quite popular and he's at all the demonstrations. I think because of his colour he's able to get closer into the reds and stuff like that. But he's very patriotic. I suppose he's what you would call a civic nationalist. Obviously he's not an ethno-nationalist, unless he moves back to his country of origin or where his roots are. And Ben, so let's see what they have to say, is you guys?
I think the reason I set up Advance is the other political parties, I don't think really have fully taken on board, including Reform. It has not taken on board the threats that this country is now facing, largely as a creation of our own, these threats, you know, a failure to understand who we are, a failure to establish a nation state and therefore our borders, a failure to govern with a national interest at heart, a failure to make sure that we have the defenses that we need, a military, a failure to educate our young in a way that means that they will be loyal to the country, to their families, to the country, to their communities, and they will do their best, not just for themselves, but for the greater good of the people around them. These are massive failures of governance over the last few decades. And I set up Advance because the other political parties don't even recognize these failures. They don't even recognize them. They see everything through still the prism of consumer economy. And then they're not recognizing that actually we need a 180-degree change in the way that we think about ourselves and the way we go about our daily business if we are to save this country. If we are to preserve the greatness created by our forefathers, we need to change dramatically.
That's right.
And Advance UK recognizes that, and we are what I call it serious principle politics. We're going to call out all the issues that need to be called out. We're going to find the root causes of those problems and then address those problems so that the country can once again go forward, not just rich but secure and able to understand what needs to be done and do what needs to be done in order to preserve our prosperity. Does that make sense? At the moment, we're actually, Rachel Reeves and people, they keep blowing cash because they want to keep this, they want to try and keep this feel good factor that massive wealth is created. But we haven't got the wealth anymore. There are some hard lessons we need to learn. And so we need to go back to basics. I think the reason I set up Advance.
Okay, well, no one can argue with you there, Ben. One of the ways you can keep money in the country is stop letting these immigrant families that have come here send money overseas. Tax them to the hilt. Might encourage some of them to go back. We can do that when we outlaw halal meat. Anyhow, well, we're watching videos now. Here's a couple more I'd like you to see. Let's have a listen to this guy, is there? I like what this guy says. Listen carefully.
Another beautiful roof completed. Yeah. So, wow. Okay. The response to my video yesterday has been, well, let's say, monumental. And it's good to know that the silent majority feel exactly the same way. And even those that have tried to dilute what needs to happen have been told. And that's good to see. Because when it comes to the protection of our women and children, our future of our country, if you haven't got the heart for it, you have to step aside. Because the realities of what's coming, if we don't do something, stand up, is far, far worse.
Well, he's not wrong, is he? Some of us can see the writing on the wall. I'm glad that there's men like him out there. I was having a look at our subscribers and the parts of the world they're from. Predominantly British, one or two Americans. Well, there was a Canadian who got lost and he wound up on our site as well, but there we go. But the age group, guys, over close on 60% of this channel's viewers are regrettably, shall we say, older than your average. We've only got 25% of our viewers are what we call young fighting men age, the age of the gentleman they're speaking out. We could do with more than that. And as I said, we've got 346 survivors. Let's hope we all survive this, subscribers. And I really need to get to 500. That's our next target. Was it the Australian guy says, SC Reviews? Subscribe, because I'm struggling. Used to say, I'm just a bogan, but apparently bogan's an Australian swear word. I don't know, you tell me. So subscribe. We've got to get to 500. That's our target. Do your duty. England, no. Britain expects that every man do his duty and subscribe to Paul Morris and Rotger. Do it now. Don't say I'll do it after. Do it now. I want to see it click up. Right, one more video for you guys. And I always seem to go back to this guy. It's Fast Jet Performance. This guy is really gung-ho. Ex-RAF Royal Navy fighter pilot. And he's ready to kick off. Well, this is Welsh blood, isn't it? We're always ready to kick off. Anyhow, let's see what he says. Yeah, he's ready to roll.
One of two ways, mate. Islam takes over, and all the Englishmen are just smashing their phones up right now, and smashing their screens up. All right, calm it down, calm it down, calm it down, calm it down. The Welsh and the Scottish are already marching themselves to the border. The Irish are getting in their boats and coming over the seas. They're like, not going to let this shit happen at all. I fucking love it. I love it. Love it. Because I know who we are. I've got a blood in me. The blood is in me. And it's in you as well, mate. But we know who we are. It's never, these are weak people coming over here. One of two ways, mate. Islam takes over, and all the Englishmen are just smashing.
You see, this is what I mean. This is the kind of talk I like to listen to. Yeah, I'm not turn the other cheek. Let's talk this through. Yeah, love each other. There's a war coming. Let's prepare for it. Get fit. Start learning your unarmed combat training again. Get up to speed on it. You're going to need it. Anyhow, let's go back to Rupert Bear. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you. All else is good. Might be another video later on. All depends what I see or find. If you have any ideas about anything you'd like me to rant on about, just say so in the comments and it will be done. Okay, you've been listening to Paul Morris, Rotger, saying, see you later, alligator. In a wild crocodile, you got it.